Hello and welcome to another Tune for Media lesson. Today we have a pretty cool lesson about building our own reverb from scratch. So if you ever wondered what is going on inside the digital reverb, this lesson is exactly for you. We're going to do a lot of gen today, so it's kind of different than other lessons of mine. So there's going to be a lot of gen, and we're going to base our reverb on something called the Schroder Reverb. So if we go here, this is taken from the CCRMA, which is the Center of Computer Research in Music and Acoustics from Stanford University. We can see that the Schroder Reverb is something that was initiated in the early 60s by Manfred Schroder and Ben Logan. And what you see here in the middle, this chart is drawn from a 1972 Muse 10 software listening. So this is pretty old stuff. So the main idea, and forgive me with my limited knowledge in math, so if I get some things wrong, please forgive me. We just want to create a working reverb. So the main idea is to take your signal and to pass it through a series connection of several all-pass filters, and then you split it into parallel bank of feedback comb filters, and lastly you mix everything together in a mixing matrix. So what all of these filters are actually doing, so I'm gonna try to explain with my limited knowledge in math. So first of all, I have here this all-pass filter. What you see here is basically this all-pass filter is coming from two comb filters. So it's a feedback and feed-forward comb filters combined together, and it creates an all-pass filter. So what is all-pass filter? Well, basically, all-pass filter is letting all of the frequencies to pass through with unity gain. But the way that is working is actually changing the phase. It's kind of messing with the phase and kind of smearing the transients. And so when you run your signal through a bunch of all-pass filters, kind of smear the entire phase. So you'll hear in a minute. So what we have here is we have an input, and we're basically running this signal into a delay line, and we're feeding back the delayed signal into this sum here, and then we're feeding forward the signal from here. This is another coefficient, and we sum this up right here to our Y, or output here in this case. Okay, so let's build one from scratch. So let's unlock this, and I'm gonna load up Gen, because we're gonna do everything inside Gen. So it's a good Gen tutorial as well. So let's just call it title. Let's just call it reverb. Okay, let's open this up, and we're going to create another Gen, and this is the Gen subpatcher, and we're going to call this one to title, and we're going to call this one all pass. Okay, and let's just pass this one here, and let's get rid of this for a second. And let's get rid of all of this and do something stupid. Okay, so just to make sure that we have a working signal, we're just gonna run it like that. And the reason I'm doing this MC pack into a stereo gain is just because I want this reverb to eventually be in stereo. So let's see if we have a signal. definitely have. And from the dry, the same. All right, so let's go here and let's create our all-pass filter from scratch. And by the way, we're making the filters from scratch, but you can actually, if you don't want to use Gen, you can actually load up the all-pass filter like that. But we like to learn some new stuff. Okay, so we said that first of all we have a delay. Let's put a delay here. Okay, and let's just do something like that maybe. So I think this is a little more comfortable. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to kind of copy this chart into the language of Gen. So I can see that I have this -AM. So it's think it's something like that. From the delay, it's going back, and we have a summarizer here. So it's going back here. Okay. And basically, I think this is let's just document it a little bit. So this is XN. And forgive me if I'm getting it wrong, or maybe my terminology is not correct. My knowledge in math is pretty limited. I'm just learning, actually. But we're gonna try do it anyway. So I know that after I'm summing these -AM with my XN, I have this VN, which goes to this other coefficient, and it's basically my gain. So I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a multiplier here. Okay, it happens before the delay line. But I'm gonna take this and feed it through the delay like that. Cool. So this is like the gain coefficient. I'm gonna put like 0.7. Okay. What else? Okay. Now the last thing is we need the delay signal also to go to my output. So you can also put plus. Okay, just do some straight lines there. So this is basically my all-pass filter. All I have left here is to determine how long is the delayed signal here. So I'm gonna take the numbers from their chart. So they have here numbers from the amount of delay in samples, I think. I'm not sure, by the way. So I'm going to take these numbers as being my minimum. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use param to create a parameter, and we're going to name it size. This is so we can change the length, and then I'm going to do minimum of 1. And max of like 100, I think, or you know what? Let's max like 50. I think 100 is too much. And then I'm gonna take the number from here, which is 347. So I'm gonna do times 347, which means that now the smallest amount of delay here is gonna be 347. Let's put it like that. And we are done with this. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's do in 2, and the param, we're going to do it in our parent patch. So we're going to go here, and I'm going to put it right here. Okay, so what's next? Now that we should have a working all-pass filter, let's just check if it's actually working. Awesome. Let's go back. So we're going to put 3 of them in series. So let's just copy them 3 times. And This is 1. This is 2. And let's just change the numbers to the numbers that we see in this chart. So the first one is I want the minimum to be 113. And here I want the minimum to be 37. Great. Let's put the param on top of everything here. Something like that. Great. And we're going to put also in our master or parent patch, let's put integer box, and let's bring it from 1 to 50. And whoops, and we need to also do size. So what we did now is we kind of smeared the entire transient or the phase of this sound wave. So let's see if we managed to do that. And if we did, it should sound a lot more like kind of a room reflected signal. So I guess it sounds kind of more blurry. Okay, let's move on and create a feedback comb filter. So they happen to have this as well here. So let's create a bunch of them. And they put 4 in parallel, but I think each one of them is like representing, I think, in this case, like a different corner in a room. But the more you put, I think you're gonna have a better resolution or smoother reverb. So basically what we're doing is we're taking the phase and we're just messing around with the phase and delaying the signal and bringing it, just like stirring it all over and creating like this crazy phasey sound that to our ears sound like a reverb. Okay, so let's go to this feedback comb filter. So I think it's pretty straightforward. Let's do another gen with the title of feedback comb filter. And let's put it here. Okay. So let's start. So we basically have this delay line. So every time you see this box with the Z minus M, it's a delay. So let's try to build this. So again, we have this reversed polarity signal coming from the delay and back to this summarizer here. And then we have a gain coefficient, I guess, coming from here. And I think that's you bring this delay back here. And I think that's it. I'm just going to use the numbers that I see here, and then we're going to play with this a little bit. Let's put the numbers here. This is the amount of delay in samples. And this is like, I think the gain coefficient. I think this is how it's called. Correct me if I'm wrong. And let's put 4 of these like that. So the second one is this. So I'm going to put the numbers according to this document. 2053. So I think these numbers are pretty random, just to give enough space in delay and different volumes. So it's kind of random. So if you put more comb filters and put some more random numbers, you'll probably create a more complicated sounding reverb, and it will probably be more realistic. I think right now it's going to be very simple, so it's going to sound a little bit like maybe even a little bit like a spring reverb, kind of. So we're passing the signal in parallel like that. And the last thing that we have to do is to do some kind of a matrix mixer. So they show you here how to do that. They're telling you that first signal is x1 and 3. So you can think of it as like 1, 2, 3, 4. So let's do this. Do another gen that we call it mixer. So let's go in. So we have 4 inputs right now. Okay, so let's just go with this. So 1 and 3 is the first signal, and then the second one is 2 and 4. Okay, here we go. And then in the outs, I see that you have out A, B, C, and D. I'm not sure, but let's just go with this and we'll see if it does something. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know. So out A is basically 2 of the positive signals here, combinations. And then out B is out A only in its reverse polarity. So I guess this is like left, right, by the way. And then you have, you have also this output. So out D is the signals, 2 signals subtracted. It's going to be here. And then you have the last one, which is out C. Something like that. Okay, so this is my matrix. Let's feed everything in here. And because I'm thinking this is like left, right, so we're going to try this like that. So left and left here, and then right and right. So we should have a working reverb by now. So let's see if we do have. Now I can use this. So we kind of have. It kind of sounds boingy, if it makes sense, like kind of a springy. And my guess is that if you put more of these, you're gonna end up with maybe better results. So if we, let's say, put like something like that, and mess with the numbers and just, try to be random, I think we're going to end up with better results. I'm not sure, by the way. Okay, let's see if we manage to create a smoother reverb. Well, it does. It does. I think it sounds smoother, and I believe there's a lot more things to do to make it even smoother. Maybe to put another all-pass filter, or maybe even to damp it a little bit, like so. Let's try. Let's try to put like a one pole filter on top of it. Um, it kind of sound a little more smooth to me. So anyways, I think I'm gonna just sit down and learn a lot more about how to make this sound even better, or how to take advantage of this knowledge and create some interesting sounding reverbs. So that was a pretty cool learning curve for me as well. And as you noticed, I'm not a big expert on doing these type of calculations and designing my own filters. I'm just learning it, but I hope you learned something from this lesson. I know I did learn a lot from this lesson. And if you like this video, please subscribe for more, and see you next time. Stay tuned.